Morning, everybody. Rich Malika here, and I want to talk today a little bit about family dynamics and one specific dynamic that I've experienced a lot of, which is when the family's threatened by your health or your growth or your gifts, and where you feel like you're in competition. That might not sound like your situation, but I want to unpack it a little bit because at first I didn't think it was my situation. I wasn't aware enough of what was happening to really get it. And I want to talk a little bit about my own experience, but I want to start with a picture. And the picture is a common one. It's a crab bucket. If you've ever heard this before, you don't have to put a lid on a crab bucket, because if a crab starts to get up to where they could crawl out, the other crabs will hold it in place because they're threatened. They're threatened by another crab getting on top. It feels like they're taking something, so they hold each other down until they finally all get boiled to death. If they helped each other at all, then many, if not all of them, could get out. But they're too threatened by a moment of seeing another one get up to allow something that could change all their lives, that could keep them all alive. And some families, my family, function that way. And the way this worked manifested in my life, I don't think I could have gotten sober if my father had not passed away. And I love my father now in a more free way than I ever could before. I'm not demonizing him. But my father was a very insecure man who projected the opposite, projected swagger, projected cockiness. But he was very insecure. When I was 5 or 6 years old, they knew I was going to be a big guy, bigger than my dad. And my father told me that if I ever got to the place where I thought I could take him in a fight, where if I ever stood up to him and he couldn't beat me, he would come into the room while I was sleeping and break my legs with a baseball bat. That is crazy, but that's the truth. My father was so threatened of a child I believe he loved and wanted to protect. He was so threatened of that kid becoming something someday, of ever having even the flicker of a thought someday of standing up to him, that he decided he had to stomp that out. Now, you look at a 5-year-old, and I think, like, I can't even fathom saying that. But that's how bad my father's insecurity was. And with my mother, my father, when my mother would get heavy, call her fat slob, call her pig, call her all this stuff. My mother lost a lot of weight one time for him so that she could be pleasing to her man. And my mother thought she was going to get this big, atta girl, looking good, sweetie thing. Instead, she got, you think your poop don't stink. Who would ever, who you think's going to be looking at your blah, 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 blah. The purpose of my father's abuse wasn't coming from genuine issues that he had, that he was upset about. It came from insecurity. And whatever caused him insecurity got abused. So it wasn't about my mom being thin or fat. It was about, if you think you have value, you'll leave me. So you can't think you have value. That's threatening to me. You're a crab trying to get up. I need to keep you down. to where you think you need me. I was smart, real young. Every time I switched schools a couple times, every time I would test into a new school, they put me in honors. And then I wouldn't do any of the work. Because there was a subconscious mindset in my house, in my family, that I couldn't be smart. My father was illiterate. So having a son be real smart didn't fit into the hierarchy that he felt he needed to establish to feel dominant, to feel worthy, to feel safe. I ended up getting sober after my father passed away. And one of the things that I'll just say to all of you, whether you're immersed in your family right now or distant from them or whatever, we all have to find a second family. Even if we have a great family, we need to find people in our lives that we can have mutual relationships with that fill the needs our families can't. And for me, there are things my family just could not provide me. Not because they're bad, not because they're demons. I'm not being disloyal. I'm not cheating on my family with another family. That my family is Taco Bell. I can go there for tacos. That is not where I go for cheeseburgers or for an awesome chicken sandwich. They don't have it. It's not in stock. So when I want an attaboy, or when I have a problem that I need some real direction with, I can't go there. I can have a relationship with my mother, with other people in my family that is beautiful in its lane, that I benefit from. And I hope you can have that too. But if there's an area where you keep going back to Taco Bell for burgers and you keep coming up short, you need to find people that can fill that other place. And I've been blessed to be able to find that. And I have that in my relationship with God, which is the most, if you think right now there is no God and I'm talking about my imaginary friend, that's fine. That relationship fills everything I could ever want it to. But part of that relationship is manifested in people. It's manifested in community. And I need a community that I can have a different relationship with than I can with my family of origin. Moving forward, I've come past my father into other relationships that are like that. That when I start to get past whatever place people felt comfort with me in, there's a pull back. Don't think you're too big. Don't think you're better than me. A narcissism kicks into people. I have to be mindful of that, because other relationships can repeat the same thing. I can love people and appreciate their contribution in my life without saying I'll stay stuck for you, because it's not bringing them freedom for me to be in bondage. On the reverse end, I need to rid my heart of the part of me that's threatened by the success of other people. I think it was Count Basie said we need to be free of the fear that someone else's success detracts from us. Huge, huge. Need that freedom. And whenever it comes up, whenever it manifests, I have to purpose to carve into my soul, into my heart, into my mind, the other thing I need to bless. I'll give you an example. My father, like I said, intentionally just chopped at my mom. I do the opposite with my wife. I catch her being valuable. I try to mirror to her the beautiful things I see in her. A couple times, it's happened twice. my wife got flirted with at a store by the guy working at the store. And I caught it. My wife could walk into a bunch of dudes with wedding rings whistling at her and think like, oh wow, I wonder what's going on here. Like she don't know. But I saw it. So instead of being threatened by it, or not knowing she didn't see it and just letting that be over there, I told her. Because I don't want my wife to be with me because she has to or she doesn't see other possibilities. I want my wife to be with me because she chooses me. And I want her to know that she's beautiful, that she's attractive, that she has all the choices in the world, and I'm grateful that she chooses me. So those are a couple thoughts on that. If you see this in your family, write about it, talk about it, read about it. Make this a starting place, because this system is hard to navigate. And especially if you're in any kind of recovery, when we start getting healthy, when we start getting sober, you may see people sabotage you. You may see people start to act like they're controlling it, owning it. I'm the one who's getting you sober. When we were trying to do this on our own steam, that can make our rebellious stuff kick in, and we say, well, forget it. You got to distance from that. That's their stuff. They want to take ownership, or they want to take control because it's threatening. You got to go to another family to get your needs met there. The way that I see it most beautifully articulated is when people get a cake, or get a key tag, or get a whole room freaking out, celebrating because somebody didn't get high for whatever increment of time. We need to get our affirmation in places like that, and from people that genuinely want to see us succeed. One of my mentors, Reverend Dr. Bob Miller, you say, I hope my ceiling is your floor. I try every day to make this a part of my soul. With my daughter, with my wife, with people I've mentored. I want to see the highest thing I ever get to be the lowest thing you ever shoot from. Because that brings us all up. That doesn't take from me. That blesses me. I allow the blessing of that into myself. I'll close with this. My friend Barry Peppy Neff, she was an amazing person who passed away a couple years ago. I got her first job in the field, and I watched her come into getting sober. The field of drug and alcohol recovery. She opened up multiple recovery houses. She went to a better school than I've gone to in terms of Ivy, and she was a powerhouse. She did so much. And I'm not trying to diminish my contribution to anything. This isn't false humility. I watched her shine and do things that I never dreamed of, that aren't for my story. I can't tell you how amazingly happy, how blessed, how proud I was to watch her shoot past me in a million different areas. That doesn't take from me. That heals me. That encourages me. That blesses me. Do not rob yourself of the blessing that comes from watching another person's success. And be happy to be the tiniest part of that. It doesn't take from you. It only helps us all get out of the bucket. It only helps us all get life and freedom. I'm just going to close in prayer. Creator God, I just lift all my brothers, sisters, and non-binary family up to you, and I pray today, bless us that we can both find your blessing, your affirmation, your mirror for us, that we can hear it, that we can bring it into ourselves, and that we can bring it out, that we can bless other people with it, that we can be free of the fear that someone else's success diminishes us, but that we can be empowered in your love to bless everybody and to pray that everyone find their floor at our ceiling. We offer ourselves to you. Amen. I love you guys. God bless you.